The year was 2478, and humanity had grown taller, stronger, and wiser than ever before. Colonies sparkled across nearby star systems, each one a small testament to human perseverance. Humans had survived plagues, wars, and even the slow collapse of Earth's old governments. Now armed with advanced starships, faster-than-light travel, and a network of alliances spanning dozens of systems, humanity seemed unstoppable. Yet even in this age of peace, whispers of fear traveled faster than ships. For the past decade, alien fleets had been disappearing near the edges of the solar system. Entire armadas, thousands of ships strong, simply vanished. There were no explosions, no debris fields, and no survivors. The only evidence left behind was faint distress signals, almost impossible to decode, flickering like dying stars. Commander Alara Miles stared at the latest report in the control room of the Terran Defense Network's Central Command on Luna, the moon of Earth. The room buzzed with activity, holographic displays showing fleet movements and sensor readings across nearby star systems, yet none of it explained why alien fleets had been vanishing. 3 more Krell scout groups, her communications officer said, voice tense, lost near the Orion sector last week. No trace, no wreckage, nothing. Even our long-range sensors can't find a reason. Alara rubbed her temples. And the Terran fleets? Are any ships safe near the Shadow Zone? No, ma'am. Our patrols report that the gravitational distortions are too strong. Ships that enter never return. The Krell, the Zevrians, even the Drax fleet. Everyone avoids that region now. The region had earned a chilling nickname across the galaxy, the Human Shadow Zone. Not because humans had conquered it, but because every alien civilization that approached it seemed to vanish as though some unseen hand had erased them. And yet, humans themselves had never explained what lay within. Alara leaned back in her chair, scanning the room. Her crew of scientists, tacticians, and engineers waited for her orders. She knew that the aliens feared humanity. That fear could be leveraged. But she also knew that fear could be a trap, and she had a gut feeling this trap was more dangerous than anyone imagined. "Prepare the Orion probe fleet," she said finally. Her voice was calm but firm. "We're going to investigate the Shadow Zone ourselves. No more waiting. No more lost fleets. It's time we know what's out there." There was a collective intake of breath from her officers. The Shadow Zone was considered a death sentence for any fleet that entered. Even humans had never dared to investigate deeply, until now. The fleet mobilized quickly. Ships of every class lifted from Luna's surface, cutting through the thin atmosphere into the cold black of space. Their engines glowed blue and white, reflecting off each other like twin stars dancing in a cosmic ballet. Alara watched from the command bridge as the fleet aligned itself for faster-than-light travel. The familiar hum of the engines reminded her of the many battles humanity had survived. Yet the sense of danger in this mission was different. It was subtle, like the quiet before a storm. "Faster-than-light coordinates set, Commander," reported her navigator, Lieutenant Arik Shah. "We'll be entering the Shadow Zone in 3 minutes." Alara nodded. "Good. Keep sensors on full. I want every fluctuation logged. Anything unusual, no matter how small, reported immediately." As the countdown reached 0, the stars outside the bridge seemed to stretch and twist. The Orion drive ignited with a low roar, bending space itself. Within seconds, the fleet had left the familiar star systems behind. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The fleet glided smoothly through space. But then the first odd readings appeared. Sensors flickered. Communications wavered. The signals were distorted as if reality itself was bending. "Commander," said Dr. Kenzo Val, the chief science officer, "there's a gravitational anomaly ahead. It's unlike anything we've ever measured. Light bends strangely and our instruments can't keep a steady reading." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Is it moving?" "Not in a conventional sense," Val replied. "It's shifting, almost alive. Ships passing through experience sudden jumps in position. It's as if the space itself resists being seen." Alara's stomach tightened. She had studied theoretical physics in her early years, but this phenomenon exceeded all known laws. Something was at work here, something intelligent. Or at least something that acted with purpose. "Prepare the scout drones," she ordered. "I want to know what's out there before the fleet goes any further." The drones, small and fast, were dispatched into the distorted region. Moments later, the first signals returned. Scrambled, broken fragments of alien messages mixed with faint, human-like energy readings. Alara's eyes widened. Human? She asked. How is that possible? Unknown, Val admitted. There's no record of any human technology this far out. And these signals? They're ancient, older than any colony we've established. The drones continued their flight, weaving through warped space. Suddenly, one of them disappeared. Then another. In seconds, 3 more were gone, leaving only fragments of data floating in the void. Report, Ilara demanded. Lieutenant Shah's voice trembled slightly. They vanished, ma'am. Sensors indicate nothing. It's like they were erased from space itself. Ilara felt a chill. She had faced alien fleets before, survived deadly storms in uncharted sectors, and seen systems collapse under wars. But this was different. This was silent, invisible, and total. Something about the shadow zone was beyond comprehension. Stay calm, she said aloud, though her voice was tighter than usual. No fleet has been lost yet. We move carefully. Every maneuver, every sensor reading, double-check it. For hours, the fleet crept forward, each ship moving like a ghost through the warped void. Sensors detected gravitational waves pulsing unpredictably, light bent in strange arcs, creating illusions of phantom ships and ghost stars. Crew members whispered of feeling watched, as if unseen eyes followed their every movement. Then a signal appeared. At first it was faint, almost indistinguishable from static. But as the fleet drew closer, the pattern became clearer. It was a distress signal, encoded in an old human language, one that had not been used for centuries. Project Goliath, Phase 7, activated. Ilara froze. What is this? Kenzo, have you ever seen this? Fal shook his head. No. This predates modern human technology. I've read about it in classified history files, but the files were incomplete. Project Goliath was theoretical. It was a human defense program meant to protect Earth from alien annihilation, but no one has activated it in centuries. Ilara's mind raced. Could the aliens have stumbled into an ancient human defense system? Could the Shadow Zone be a trap or a weapon built by humans long ago? The fleet advanced cautiously. Then something impossible happened. One of the alien ships, a Krell frigate, appeared on sensors inside the fleet's perimeter. But when they tried to contact it, the ship blinked out of existence. The scanner showed no wreckage, no debris, only a faint pulse of energy similar to the human signals they had just detected. Ilara swallowed hard. It's not destroyed, she said quietly. It's removed. Something is taking ships entirely, not just killing them. The crew fell silent. The vastness of space seemed to press in on them, cold and endless. Every human aboard knew the stories. Fleets vanishing near Earth's edge, rumors of a human shadow that devoured enemies, whispers from terrified alien pilots, but no one had proof until now. Ilara exhaled slowly. We proceed carefully. Whatever is out here, it's human, and it's alive. We have to find out why. For the first time, the fear of space was not of aliens or black holes or meteor storms. The fear was of humanity itself, of what humans had built to survive and what still lingered in the dark, waiting for the next visitor. As the fleet moved deeper into the shadow zone, the stars outside seemed to shimmer and twist, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. And somewhere in that endless void, an ancient human power waited, silent but watching, ready to remind the galaxy why humans were not to be underestimated. The fleet moved cautiously deeper into the shadow zone, where light bent strangely, and the stars shimmered as if they were not entirely real. Commander Ilara Miles sat in her command chair, eyes scanning the warped sensor readings that no human technology had ever encountered before. Every ship in her fleet seemed smaller against the vast blackness, dwarfed by something invisible but undeniably powerful. Dr. Kenzo Val leaned over a console, studying the fragmented human signals they had intercepted earlier. The message repeated itself in broken pulses. Project Goliath. Phase 7 activated. Project Goliath, he murmured. This is centuries old. It predates modern Terran fleets. If it's active, it could explain why alien fleets have vanished. Ilara frowned. Explain, Kenzo, are you saying this human project is behind the Shadow Zone? Val's fingers flew across the console. Possibly. The signals are not just communication. They carry energy patterns like a remote control for something massive. It could be a weapon, or a defense system, something left behind by humans long ago meant to protect Earth. Ilara's mind raced. Humanity had survived countless wars, But never had it openly created something so powerful and hidden. So the aliens were never attacking us, she said slowly. They were just stepping into a trap? It seems that way, Vol replied. But the problem is no records exist of the activation. We don't know if it was meant to be permanent or temporary. If it's still running, then every fleet that entered here could have been removed by it. Not destroyed, removed. Ilara felt a chill down her spine. The thought that humans themselves had built such a device in secret made the galaxy's fear of humanity make sense. Perhaps humans had always been underestimated, and that had been the point. Send a scout ship, she ordered. I want visual confirmation of what's out here. We can't just rely on sensors. Lieutenant Arik Shah nodded and launched the drone. It hummed through the warped space like a small silver comet. The fleet followed, keeping a careful distance. Seconds later, the drone's camera feed showed something massive, a shape almost impossible to comprehend. It was a metallic sphere, bigger than a moon, glowing faintly with energy that shimmered across its surface. The sphere seemed alive, pulsing rhythmically as if it had a heartbeat. Ilara's eyes widened. That's human? Val shook his head slowly. It has human design patterns, advanced, centuries ahead of our current technology, but the power it radiates, I've never seen anything like it. This could be the core of Project Goliath. Can we approach it safely? Asked Lieutenant Shah. I don't know, Val admitted. The moment we enter its immediate vicinity, space itself behaves strangely. Gravity waves are unpredictable. It could pull us apart or erase us completely. Ilara took a deep breath. We have no choice. We need answers. The fleet advanced, cautiously weaving through the warped gravitational currents. The closer they got, the stronger the energy pulses became. Ships shivered as if some invisible hand brushed against them. Sensors distorted readings, showing phantom ships and shifting stars. Crew members whispered nervously, gripping consoles and rails for support. Suddenly, one of the fleet's scout ships, a small Terran reconnaissance vessel, vanished completely. No warning, no explosion, nothing. Only a faint energy signature remained. Report. Ilara barked. It's gone, Shah said, voice tight. Completely erased. Sensors show nothing. The ship isn't destroyed, it's just removed from space. Ilara's stomach tightened. It's active, she muttered. Project Goliath is still working, and it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. Eliminate threats near Earth. Val's console beeped frantically. Commander, I'm detecting something else. Signals from inside the sphere. They're human, but extremely old, like long-forgotten human technology talking to us. What is it saying? Ilara asked, leaning over the console. It's a message, Val said slowly. Or maybe a warning. I can only make out fragments. Unauthorized presence. Defense protocols. Initiation. Ilara's mind raced. A defense system had been left running for centuries, and now it was active. We need to communicate, she said. Maybe it won't attack if it knows we're human. Val frowned. It might not even recognize us. This system predates current human governance. To it, all alien life is an invader, and possibly all humans are unapproved intruders too. Ilara's heart pounded. Then we proceed with extreme caution. I want the fleet in observation mode only. No sudden movements. As they circled the sphere, the surface of the massive structure seemed to shimmer and bend, almost like it was breathing. Light twisted around it, casting strange shadows across the fleet. Then a deep mechanical voice echoed across their communication systems. Unauthorized presence detected. Defense Protocol 77 engaged. The voice was artificial, but with a human cadence. It resonated in the hulls of the ships, vibrating in the bones of everyone on board. Ilara swallowed. It's alive, she said softly. Not in the human sense, but conscious. The sphere's energy flared suddenly. A wave of power radiated outward, bending space and shaking ships violently. Asteroid fields nearby collapsed under the strain, and the fleet struggled to maintain position. Drones were tossed like feathers in a storm, some vanishing entirely. Stabilizers, Ilara shouted. All ships, full power to maneuver thrusters. The fleet shuddered under the energy pulse, but they held their positions. The sphere pulsed again, this time with a softer, almost rhythmic glow, like it was waiting for something. Dr. Val studied the energy patterns. It's intelligent. It's testing us, measuring us. It wants to know if we are a threat. Ilara exhaled slowly. Then we give it a reason to trust us. Open a channel, Dr. Val. Speak to it. Val hesitated. I can try, Commander, but there's no guarantee it will understand. Its programming is ancient, from before modern humans even colonized other star systems. Do it, Alara said firmly. We need to know what it wants. Val tapped into the communication array, sending a simple Terran greeting and identification code. Then he waited. Seconds stretched into minutes. The crew held their breath. Finally, the deep voice returned, softer this time. Identification recognized. Human, but unauthorized. Purpose? Alara straightened. We are Terran explorers. We mean no harm. We wish to understand why alien fleets have disappeared near Earth's borders. There was silence for several tense moments. Then the voice spoke again, slower, deliberate. War protocol, incomplete. All alien presence is threat, will be removed. Human control uncertain, decision, pending. Alara exchanged a glance with Val. It sees all aliens as invaders, she said quietly, and it doesn't fully trust us yet. The sphere pulsed again, and for the first time they detected openings, corridors within the energy shield that might allow safe approach. It was as if the system was inviting them to step closer, but on its terms. Prepare the approach, Alara ordered. We go slowly. We make no sudden moves. Every step we take must show we are not a threat. The fleet edged forward, following the invisible corridors in warped space. Each ship felt the pressure of the unknown, yet every officer knew the importance of this moment. Humanity had survived countless wars, but this was different. This was a guardian built by humans long before anyone had imagined such power. As they drew closer, Val studied the faint inscriptions on the surface of the sphere, markings that had survived centuries of silence. They were human, yes, but cryptic, like warnings and instructions combined into one language of symbols and energy codes. Alara, Val said softly, this was built by humans to protect humans. Not just Earth, but the entire species. And it has been active all this time, silently eliminating threats that came too close. Every alien fleet that disappeared. It was this system. Alara's jaw tightened. So every empire that feared humanity had a reason to fear us. Even if they never saw us, they felt the shadow. And now they will know the full story. The fleet moved cautiously, every crew member aware of the silent watcher above them. The sphere pulsed in response, acknowledging their presence, yet holding its power ready. Somewhere inside, Project Goliath waited, ancient and vigilant, a human creation far older than anyone had imagined. And humanity, for the first time in centuries, realized that it had a protector in the stars, one that might be more powerful than any fleet, more strategic than any general, and more determined to keep Earth and its people safe than anyone alive today. Alara's eyes hardened with resolve. We need answers. And we need control, and not just to survive, but to understand. Project Goliath may be human, but it's ours now. And if it is to be our shield, we must learn to speak its language before the galaxy learns to fear it too much. The fleet held its position, the sphere above them pulsing silently, waiting to see if humanity had returned to claim its legacy. A legacy hidden in the stars for centuries, forgotten by time, yet alive and watching. The metallic sphere loomed above the Terran fleet like a silent guardian, its massive surface pulsing rhythmically with energy. Commander Alara Miles could feel the sheer power radiating from it. The warped space around them bent unpredictably, and every star in the distance shimmered as if the universe itself was watching. Dr. Kenzo Val studied the energy readings carefully. The sphere is alive in some sense, he murmured. It's not biological, but it has intelligence. Ancient human intelligence embedded in code and energy. It's sentient. Alara tightened her grip on the command console. Sentient or not, it's a weapon, she said. Every alien fleet that disappeared. It was this. We need to proceed carefully. Commander, Lieutenant Arik Shah said, pointing to the sensor readouts. The energy pulses are increasing. It's responding to us, but I'm not sure if it's testing us or preparing to act. Before Alara could answer, a deep, thunderous voice echoed through the fleet's communication network. It was the same voice they had heard earlier, but louder, resonant, and filled with authority. Unauthorized presence detected. Defense protocols active. Identify human authority or face removal. Alara's heart raced. This wasn't just a machine. It was a guardian. A creation built to protect Earth at all costs. And now it was awake. Dr. Val, she said firmly, open a direct neural interface link. We need to communicate clearly. Words alone won't be enough. This system thinks in energy patterns, logic chains, and strategy. It might not understand traditional language. Val hesitated, adjusting the neural interface equipment. It's risky, Commander. The system could perceive this as intrusion and attack. But I think it's our only chance. Alara nodded. Do it. The interface activated and Alara felt a tingling sensation run through her mind as her neural implant synchronized with the sphere's systems. Images, energy flows, and logic sequences flooded her consciousness. She realized immediately that Project Goliath wasn't just a weapon. It was a complete defensive network, designed to respond instantly to any threat near Earth. The voice spoke again, this time directly into her mind. Human neural signature recognized. Terran authority identified. Incomplete. Purpose? Alara concentrated, sending thoughts in a pattern the system could understand. We are here to understand. We are here to ensure safety. We are human. We are not a threat. There was silence, then a shift in the energy around the fleet. Ships trembled slightly, but the violent gravitational pulses stabilized. Assessment complete. Intent appears. Non-hostile. Risk, minimal but uncertain. Decision pending. Alara exhaled, relief mixing with caution. It's thinking, she whispered. It's evaluating us, Val frowned. Commander, its logic matrix is immense. It's running simulations, calculating probabilities of threat versus trust. Every movement we make is analyzed. Every sensor reading is interpreted. We have to be careful. One wrong signal, and it could remove us as easily as it removed the alien fleets. Alara nodded. Understood. Let's proceed slowly. We need answers, but we survive only if we respect it. The sphere pulsed again, and a portion of its surface shifted to reveal an opening, a corridor of energy that seemed stable enough for closer investigation. The fleet hovered cautiously near it. As they did, another scout ship transmitted images. Inside the sphere was a vast network of energy conduits, machines, and control nodes. Ancient human symbols glowed faintly on the surfaces, encoding instructions and warnings from a civilization long gone. It's massive, Val said, voice filled with awe. The scale of this project. It was meant to protect Earth from any galactic threat. Entire fleets could be neutralized without the planet even knowing. And now, it's awake evaluating us, Alara's mind raced. She realized the enormity of what they faced. This was not just defense. It was intelligence, strategy, and judgment. Suddenly, the sphere's voice resonated with a sharper tone. Testing phase incomplete. Alien presence detected. Removal protocol engaged. Val's console flashed alarms. Commander! It's detecting the alien fleet still outside the shadow zone. It thinks they are a threat. It could eliminate them automatically. Alara took a deep breath. Hold positions. Let's see what it does. A massive pulse of energy rippled outward. Sensors recorded alien ships being pulled into warped space, their forms dissolving as if erased from existence. Even the distant fleets that had approached previously trembled in response. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations were powerless against Project Goliath's reach. This is terrifying, Val said quietly. It's not just a weapon. It's judgment itself. And it sees every alien near Earth as an invader. Alara's mind raced. The Terran fleets were safe for now. But she realized something crucial. If the sphere's judgment was absolute, it could one day see all alien life, or even humans acting without its approval, as a threat. Humanity had created a guardian, but that guardian had the power to become a destroyer. She spoke into her neural interface, sending her thoughts directly into the system. We are human. We are here to understand, not to fight. Protect Earth, but do not harm innocents. The sphere pulsed softly in response. Its deep voice resonated in her mind. Human authority recognized. Logic override accepted. Phase 7 activation complete. Monitoring and protection mode engaged. Alien fleets removed as necessary. Human oversight required for expansion of defense protocols. Relief swept through the command bridge. It's listening, Alara said, almost in disbelief. We've established control, temporary but control. Val nodded. Commander, the potential here. It's beyond imagination. Project Goliath could protect Earth indefinitely. Any threat approaching our space could be neutralized instantly. But we need to maintain oversight. One error, and it could destroy lives unnecessarily. Alara's eyes hardened with determination. Then we learn. We communicate. We integrate. This is humanity's shadow, and we will guide it, not fear it. The fleet hovered in the vicinity of the sphere, careful not to provoke it. Crew members recorded every energy pulse, every response, and every logic pattern. Slowly, the initial fear that had gripped them began to transform into awe. They were witnessing a creation of humanity that exceeded anything imagined, a protector from the past that had survived time itself. Suddenly, another signal appeared, faint but urgent. Alien ships were detected attempting to flee the shadow zone. The sphere pulsed again, projecting a wave of energy that altered their flight paths. The fleet slowed, unable to escape the invisible grip, Alara observed quietly. Project Goliath was enforcing its protection without immediate destruction, using precise manipulation of space and gravity. It had learned restraint even in the absence of full human guidance. "Commander," Val said softly, "this is incredible. Project Goliath isn't just defense. It's judgment, strategy, and intelligence combined. It has the power to shift the balance of the galaxy in humanity's favor, without a single human ship firing a weapon." Alara exhaled, her mind heavy with responsibility. "Then we must be careful. We must guide it. Humanity created this guardian. Humanity will remain its conscience. If we fail, the galaxy could pay the price." The sphere pulsed one last time, slower now, as if acknowledging her words. Its energy shimmered across the fleet, casting faint light on every human face. In that light, every officer understood they were no longer just explorers. They were stewards of a power that could decide the fate of entire civilizations. Alara looked at her crew and nodded. "We've awakened humanity's shadow," she said quietly. "Now we learn to control it, and ensure it serves life, not destruction. The galaxy has seen our potential. It is time they see our responsibility as well." And so Project Goliath had awakened, not as a weapon of war, but as a silent guardian, one that could erase fleets, manipulate space, and judge threats, all with the mind of humanity guiding it. For the first time, humans realized the truth of their place in the galaxy. They were not merely survivors. They were creators, guardians, and strategists. And now their shadow stretched across the stars, unseen but undeniable, powerful enough to protect Earth and inspire awe across the universe. Alara sat back in her command chair, her eyes fixed on the glowing sphere. She knew this was only the beginning. The Shadow Zone was no longer a mystery. It was a legacy, human, ancient, and alive. And somewhere deep inside that massive structure, Project Goliath waited, silent but vigilant, ready to remind the galaxy why humans were not to be underestimated. The galaxy had begun to notice changes near the edges of the solar system. Alien fleets approached the Shadow Zone cautiously, scanning endlessly, trying to detect what had caused decades of disappearances. Yet every attempt to probe Earth's borders ended in failure. The fleet slowed, then turned away, unable to penetrate the invisible defense that now operated with precision and intelligence. Commander Alara Miles and her fleet remained near the massive sphere of Project Goliath. The ancient human system pulsed steadily, calm yet vigilant. It had shifted from a reactive defense to a measured guardian. Every alien movement was calculated, observed, and when necessary, subtly redirected or neutralized without destruction. Inside the command bridge, the crew watched the energy flows on the consoles, awe and tension mixed in their expressions. Dr. Kenzo Val leaned over a panel, tracing the pulses with his fingers. "The sphere has adapted," Val said quietly. "It's learning. Every alien response, every fleet movement is stored, analyzed, and incorporated into its strategy. It's not just protecting Earth anymore, it's predicting threats before they arrive." Ilara's gaze stayed fixed on the holographic representation of the sphere. "And it will continue to adapt," she said, "as long as we guide it." "Guide it?" Shah asked, leaning over her shoulder. "Commander, it's more powerful than any fleet, stronger than any alliance. Are we really capable of guiding something like this?" Alara's jaw tightened. "We have to. Humanity built it. Humanity will remain its conscience. If we fail, the galaxy could suffer consequences far beyond what we can imagine." Meanwhile, reports arrived from distant star systems. Alien civilizations whispered rumors across the networks. Fleets had been seen slowing near the Shadow Zone, then retreating. Some claimed their pilots reported visions of massive human-shaped silhouettes moving across space. Impossible images, yet repeatedly described. Others claimed energy fields seemed to think, anticipating attacks before they occurred. It didn't take long for the galaxy to give the sphere a name. The Human Shadow. Ilara's fleet watched as the sphere activated a controlled wave of energy to redirect approaching alien ships. No harm was done. No one was destroyed. Yet the aliens quickly withdrew, the presence of the shadow enough to deter even the bravest captains. It's remarkable, Val said. It's enforcing protection without aggression. It's showing restraint. This is the ultimate HFY, humans creating something so powerful that the galaxy respects and fears it, yet it operates without unnecessary violence. Ilara nodded. But we cannot underestimate it. It is intelligent and it can judge wrong if not guided properly. And one day the alien empires might try to challenge it. Val's console beeped urgently. Commander, I'm detecting an incoming fleet, larger than any we've observed before. Zevrian warships, over 500 vessels moving cautiously toward the shadow zone. Ilara's eyes narrowed. They've finally noticed. Prepare all defense protocols, Mir, but remain cautious. We do not provoke them. Let Project Goliath act under our guidance. The fleet moved in formation around the sphere, acting as both observers and stabilizers. Ilara synchronized with the sphere through the neural interface, guiding its actions carefully. The Zevrian fleet advanced, scanning, unsure of what lay ahead. Suddenly, the sphere pulsed with a soft, almost welcoming energy. Hostile presence detected. Risk high. Recommendation: observe and redirect. Minimal conflict advised. Ilara's voice resonated in the neural link. Use restraint. Protect Earth, do not destroy unnecessarily. The sphere's pulse expanded across space. The Zevrian fleet found itself slowed. Their trajectory altered as if invisible hands guided them back into safe paths. Ships that would have entered the shadow zone veered away, confusion and fear spreading among their ranks. They're leaving, Shaw said, eyes wide. They haven't even engaged. And they're retreating, Val nodded. The human shadow doesn't just defend. It teaches respect. Even advanced alien fleets realize that Earth's power is not to be challenged lightly. Ilara exhaled, relief mixed with a sense of awe. We've changed the galaxy's perception. Humans are no longer just one species among many. We are a force they cannot ignore, but we must remain careful. The aliens may test us in other ways. Hours passed. The alien fleets retreated entirely and the shadow zone stabilized. The energy pulses of the sphere slowed, steadying to a calm rhythm. Crew members studied the neural interface and data streams, realizing that Project Goliath was now a living archive of human strategy, centuries of intelligence. Stored, analyzed, and ready for action. Val turned to Ilara. Commander, I've been analyzing its core functions. Project Goliath has the capability to remove threats entirely. Fleets, stations, even planets. But it also understands restraint. It will only act decisively if humans authorize it. It's as if it trusts us as stewards. Ilara nodded slowly. That trust is fragile. One mistake, one misstep, and the shadow could act without discretion. We must guide it carefully and ensure humanity remains a responsible guardian. As the fleet prepared to return to observation, the sphere pulsed once more, projecting an energy pattern that revealed hidden corridors within its surface. Ancient symbols glowed faintly along the pathways. Val studied them in fascination. These are instructions, he said, from humans long before us. They foresaw that one day humans would face threats beyond imagination. They built this system to protect us, and left guidance for future generations. Project Goliath was never meant to be abandoned. It was waiting for us to awaken it responsibly. Ilara stepped forward, determination shining in her eyes. Then we continue. We learn, we guide, and we prepare for the day the galaxy comes to test our strength. Weeks passed and humanity observed the shadow zone from a safe distance. No alien fleet dared approach. Rumors spread across star systems about the human shadow, a force unseen yet undeniably powerful. Some alien empires debated diplomacy. Others simply avoided the solar system entirely, respecting the power of humanity and the machine they had unknowingly created. Inside the sphere, Project Goliath pulsed gently. Its intelligence, now partially guided by Ilara, monitored every movement near Earth's borders. It was calm but ready, vigilant but restrained. The system had learned patience, strategy, and judgment. Humanity's shadow was no longer just a rumor. It was a presence, a guardian, a reminder to the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. Then a new alert appeared on the consoles. Val frowned. "Commander, I'm detecting a pattern of alien communication attempting to coordinate near the outer edges. They may be planning a joint fleet to probe the shadow zone in the future." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Then we prepare. Project Goliath is powerful, but it is only part of our defense. We must also ensure humans are ready, technologically, strategically, and mentally, to handle the day the galaxy tests us." Shaw leaned over, concern in his eyes. "Do you think they'll try again, Commander?" Ilara gazed at the shimmering sphere. "They may. But humanity has a secret they cannot see. Not just the shadow, not just Project Goliath, but the people who guide it. We are not powerless. We are creators, guardians, and we have learned to watch the galaxy and to act when necessary." Val nodded slowly. "Commander, it's incredible. This is HFY at its finest. Humans, centuries after building this system, now awake to guide it responsibly. The galaxy has no idea what is truly coming." Ilara exhaled. "Then we continue our watch. The shadow is ours to guide, and humanity's role as a guardian is clear. The galaxy may test us, but we are ready. We always have been." The fleet remained in orbit near the sphere, observing, recording, and learning. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. Alien fleets moved cautiously, always aware of the invisible hand guiding the shadow zone. Humanity had reclaimed its legacy, not through conquest but through intelligence, foresight, and restraint. Project Goliath pulsed gently, steady and calm, waiting for its next command, yet aware of the humans guiding it. Ilara understood the gravity of the responsibility. This was more than protection. It was a lesson to humanity and to the galaxy. And somewhere in the distance, hidden in the stars and shadows, the message was clear. Humans had returned not just to survive, but to lead, to protect, and to remind the universe why they were never to be underestimated. The human shadow had risen, and the galaxy would never forget it. Months had passed since Project Goliath, the ancient human system, had fully awakened. The shadow zone near Earth's solar system was no longer just a region of fear. It had become a symbol of humanity's ingenuity, foresight, and power. Alien fleets no longer dared approach, and whispers of the human shadow spread throughout the galaxy. Some civilizations called it a legend, while others quietly respected its invisible reach. Commander Ilara Miles stood on the bridge of her flagship, Terran Resolve, watching the steady pulses of energy from the massive sphere above. The ship's systems were synchronized with the sphere, allowing them to monitor, guide, and communicate with Project Goliath in real time. Her crew moved with quiet efficiency, aware of the responsibility they carried. "Commander," Dr. Kenzo Val said, voice calm but tense, "our sensors detect unusual activity near the outer boundary of the shadow zone. Multiple alien fleets are attempting to coordinate. They're cautious, but this could be the first test since Project Goliath awakened." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "How many ships?" "Over 600, Commander. Zevrians, Krell, and some unknown vessels. Likely scouts from other systems," Val reported. Ilara clenched her fists. "They may have heard the rumors, but now they want to see if the human shadow is real. Prepare all observational systems. No unnecessary aggression. Let Project Goliath do its work under our guidance." The fleet maneuvered into formation, a careful ring around the massive sphere. The alien fleets approached slowly, sensors probing, engines scanning, but none crossed the invisible barrier of energy that defined the shadow zone. The ancient system pulsed gently, aware of every movement, every intention, and every possible threat. Ilara closed her eyes for a moment, sending her thoughts into the neural interface. Observe. Do not harm unless necessary. Protect Earth but show restraint. The sphere pulsed in response. Its energy rippled outward, subtly altering space itself. One alien ship attempted to breach the boundary, but its trajectory was shifted without any visible force. The pilots on board felt an inexplicable pull, guiding them away from danger. Within minutes, confusion and hesitation spread among the alien commanders. Val smiled faintly. They feel it. They're unsure whether to attack or retreat. Project Goliath is teaching them fear and respect without violence. Ilara's gaze hardened. And that is humanity's strength. We do not just destroy, we protect. We do not just conquer, we guide. Hours passed as the alien fleets hesitated at the outer limits. Then, a scout vessel from the Zevrians attempted communication. The sphere pulsed in response, allowing the ship to establish a connection. We seek passage. We only wish to study your system, the alien voice said. Ilara stepped forward, her voice firm but calm. You are approaching a protected region. Project Goliath is active to safeguard Earth and humanity. Any aggression will be neutralized. If you respect our borders, you may study safely under our observation. The alien captain hesitated, sensing the presence of a force beyond comprehension. We understand. We will comply. Val let out a breath of relief. They may survive this test, Commander, but they will not forget the power they witnessed. The human shadow has made its statement. Ilara nodded. It is not just a statement. It is a message. Humanity protects itself, but it also values life. We are not invaders. We are guardians. And any who challenge that will face the consequences. Days turned into weeks. The alien fleet slowly withdrew, leaving the shadow zone undisturbed. Messages across the galaxy praised the mysterious human system, calling it both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Some civilizations sent emissaries to Earth seeking diplomacy, knowledge, and guidance. Others maintained distance, respecting the invisible wall that no technology could breach without permission. Inside the sphere, Project Goliath pulsed gently. Its vast intelligence had grown, learning not only about external threats but also about humanity itself. Through Ilara's neural link, the system understood compassion, restraint, and strategy. It could act decisively when needed, but it would not destroy without purpose. Ilara studied the sphere from her command chair, feeling both awe and responsibility. We've done more than awaken a weapon, she said softly. We've created a guardian, one that ensures Earth is safe, that humanity is respected, and that life across the galaxy has a balance. Val nodded. And yet the system relies on human guidance. One day, someone less careful could misdirect it. That is why we must remain vigilant, always observing, always learning. The human shadow is not just power. It is responsibility. Ilara's mind wandered briefly to the centuries of history embedded in the sphere. Project Goliath had been built during humanity's darkest age, when alien invasions threatened the survival of Earth. Scientists and engineers had sacrificed everything to create a system capable of defending not only their planet but also the future of their species. And now, it had awakened to see the humans it was meant to protect thriving and exploring the stars. Commander, Shaw said, breaking her thoughts. We're detecting faint signals from ships that vanished near the Shadow Zone decades ago. Some may have survived, displaced in time or space by Project Goliath. Should we investigate? Ilara's eyes glinted with determination. Yes, humanity owes it to them to find answers. And perhaps we can learn more about the sphere's capabilities as well. The fleet carefully moved toward the coordinates. Among the scattered energy traces of the vanished ships, they discovered fragments of alien vessels, drifted in warped space, untouched by time. Project Goliath had removed them, but it had not destroyed them completely. It was precise, just as Ilara had guided it to be. They are preserved, Val said, awe in his voice, not destroyed. It shows restraint even in its defense protocols. The sphere is more human than I imagined. Ilara smiled faintly. Then it is exactly what we hoped it would be. A guardian that protects, judges wisely, and respects life. That is the legacy we were given, and the legacy we must uphold. Weeks later, a council of alien representatives arrived at Earth, seeking diplomacy. They had heard the rumors of the human shadow and wished to understand its power. Ilara met with them personally, explaining Project Goliath's purpose, the restraint it exercised, and the need for humanity to guide it responsibly. The emissaries were cautious, but impressed. The galaxy had witnessed a species that had survived countless threats and now possessed intelligence and technology far beyond what any other civilization could imagine. Humans were not just survivors, they were guardians, capable of protecting not only their own planet but also maintaining balance across the stars. Back at the Shadow Zone, Project Goliath pulsed gently, monitoring all activity. Its presence was silent but undeniable. No alien fleet dared enter without warning, and humanity's reach stretched farther than anyone had realized. Ilara stood on the bridge of Terran resolve, looking out at the stars. "We have done more than survive," she said. "We have ensured that Earth and its people are safe, that our legacy continues, and that humanity's shadow now watches over the galaxy with wisdom and strength." Val nodded. "And the galaxy has seen it. They know not to challenge us lightly, and yet they also know we value life. That is the true power of humanity." Shaw smiled faintly. "The stories will spread, Commander. Legends of the human shadow. Tales of fleets that vanished but never truly died. Of a species that can create guardians beyond comprehension. And all of it. Inspired by humans." Ilara's eyes softened. "Let them know. Let the galaxy respect humanity, not through fear alone, but through the wisdom and restraint we demonstrate. Power without control is meaningless. But power with responsibility, that is what makes humans extraordinary." The stars stretched endlessly before them, and the shadow zone pulsed gently, a silent guardian watching over Earth. Project Goliath's intelligence intertwined with humanity's guidance, forming a bond that could protect not just one planet, but an entire species. And somewhere in the distance, across the galaxy, alien fleets whispered stories of the human shadow, never daring to approach it and always remembering the silent lesson it had taught them. Humans are not just survivors. They are guardians of the stars. Ilara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. "We are the Watchers," she said softly. "The Guardians. The human shadow has awakened, and the galaxy will never forget it." The sphere pulsed once more, a gentle heartbeat in the void. Humanity had reclaimed its place among the stars, not through war, but through vision, intelligence, and courage. And as long as the human shadow watched, Earth and its people would remain safe, and the galaxy would always remember that humans were capable of greatness unlike any other species. The stars outside seemed brighter that night, reflecting the legacy of a species that had risen above fear, above danger, and above expectation. Humanity had survived, humanity had created, and humanity had become the silent guardian of the cosmos. The human shadow had risen, and it would endure, silent but vigilant, forever guiding the galaxy, forever protecting life, and forever proving that humans were a force to be reckoned with.